Now we're on page 115 in the Big Math book. I dropped down to problems 8 through 13. Again, throughout the video, if you need to pause or rewind, don't hesitate. If you're not sure about something I've done in the video, make sure you pause it, raise your hand, and get clarification on what we're doing. All right, compare the numbers, write less than or greater than. Whenever you're comparing numbers, you're using these signs. Okay, so -1/2 and -3/7. So a few different things we can do here. We can change them both to decimals, or we can change them both. We can have them both be fractions, but fractions with equivalent denominators. I prefer to change everything to decimals. So to change 1/2 into a decimal, we divide the denominator into the numerator, add a decimal, add our 0 placeholder because 2 can't go into 1. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract gives us 0. So this would be -0.5 on this side. And then I do the same thing with 3/7. Denominator into the numerator. 7 can't go into 3. So I add a decimal, add a 0, bring my decimal straight up. 7 goes into 30 4 times. That's 28. Subtract gives me 2, add a 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 22 times. And I've already gone far enough to be able to figure out my answer. So, -5 or -4. And remember, on a number line, the further to the left is less. And 5 is going to be further left on the number line. Okay, number 9. Both of these are already decimals, and they're both negative. So I just have to think which one would be further left on the number line. This goes 23.7 to the left away from the 0, right? 0 would be here. This one goes 23.7 to the left. This one only goes 18.8 to the left. So this number would go further to the left. So it is going to be less valuable. Okay, over here we have a decimal already over here. We don't over here. The big 3 is just going to be my whole number 3, and then I just need to and it's negative because the number is negative, so it stays negative. Now I just need to change the 1/4 into a decimal. 4 can't go into 1, so I add my decimal and my 0. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract gives us 2, add another 0. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract gives us 0. So this is going to be 3 and 25/100ths, and it's negative 3 and 25/100ths. Okay, so again, which one goes further to the left? -4.3 is going to go further left on the number line, so that is going to be my less valuable number. Okay, let's go down to number 11, 12, and 13. Order the numbers from greatest to least, so the biggest number first. Well, here we have 2 negative numbers and a positive number. Well, the positive number is definitely going to be my biggest, so I can get rid of that already. Okay, then I'm just comparing -2/4. I'm just comparing it to -7 6/10. Remember, think of a number line. The further to the left you go on the number line, the less valuable. So 7.6 is going to be my least valuable number, and -2.4 is going to be right in the middle. -2.4 is less than 1.9, but it is greater than -7.6. Okay, over here they're all negatives and they're all fractions. I'm going to change them all to decimals. So the first one, 5 into 2. 5 goes into 24 times. So this is going to be -0.4. Let's change 3/4. Denominator into the numerator. 4 can't go into 3. 4 goes into 30, 7 times? 7 times 4 is 28. 2, add a 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. So this is going to be negative 0.75. And 2 into 1. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Subtract gives me 0, so this is going to be negative 0.5. Okay, so I have now all my fractions written as decimals. 2 and 1, negative 2/5 is negative 4/10. Negative 3/4 is negative 75 and negative 1/2 is negative 5/10. Okay, so which one of these is going to be my biggest or the most valuable? That's going to be my number. Since they're all negative, it's going to be my number closest to 0. Furthest to the right is going to be the biggest. Furthest to the right is going to be the biggest number. And on a number line, negative 0.4 is going to be closest to the 0. Then negative 0.5, and the furthest away from 0 is going to be negative 0.75. All right, I'm gonna erase a little bit of my work. I don't want you to erase any of yours because you have unlimited scratch paper. I have limited space here, so I do need to erase a little bit. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Again, I have 2 negative numbers and 1 positive. So the positive number is definitely going to be my biggest. That's going to be the furthest to the right. And I want greatest to least. So the positive number definitely going to be my biggest. All right, the next two. I have whole numbers. Now really, since we're comparing, and it's not asking me to change it to a decimal, I can really just look at these whole numbers and compare negative 6 and negative 3. So which one's going to be the furthest to the left, meaning the smallest, the least valuable number? Well, the furthest to the left on a number line, if we think zeros here, negative 1, negative 2, then negative 3, then negative 4, then negative 5, negative 6, and negative 3 are the ones I'm comparing. Negative 6 is my smallest. It's the furthest to the left. It's the furthest left. Left is less. Right is more. Left is less. So negative 3 is going to be right in the middle. Again, on any of these problems, you can always create a number line to help you visualize it. If it doesn't immediately make sense to you just looking at the numbers, you can always make a number line. And all you have to remember when you make the number line, sorry about that, is, whoops, did it again. Left is less. Right is more or greater than or bigger, whatever you want to say. That's all you have to remember on these comparative problems. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.